Peace Collective. I am channeling this reading with Archangel Raphael. I was not going to do a reading today. I came to the park to enjoy some strawberries and some guac and chips, okay, with my coconut water. Give me 1 second. Getting a little closer. So I wasn't really sure where any of this is going, but I just pulled a card, and the first card that came out, sorry, I'm just fixing these cards because a little out of it. The first card that came out is Pillory, okay? What I find interesting is that there was a message that was given to me basically in the middle of the night. Channeling and I'm being told that someone fell down a flight of stairs. Who it is, what it was about, not sure, not my business. To be honest, I just don't care. I was like, don't care. So for this card to come flying out, I'm going to assume the energy that we are getting into right now is one of a lot of people in the collective are now being made to pay their karmic debts. There's been enough of you who've been running around thinking that you are untouchable, okay? And if you are doing all the work to align and be in your divine, God-given sovereignty in alignment with the divine, rooted in divinity, rooted in tranquility, rooted in higher consciousness, this isn't necessarily pertaining to you, but could be pertaining to the people, events, and circumstances that have been playing out in your life. And if you are, if you care to follow with this message, please do so. Because I feel like for me, this is something that I didn't necessarily care to see, but I'm being told, right? Like I need to see it regardless. So I'm like, okay. So, something is saying being called public ridicule, okay? Listen, whoever has been feeding off of you vampirically, they're getting their just dues, and it may not even be necessarily concerning you directly. I'm hearing the word catch a predator, okay? You take that how it resonates in your particular and individual life and individual circumstance, right? There's predators of all different degrees. And I'm feeling this energy very intensely. Honestly, this is something I don't want to feel because I've gone through enough trauma, okay? I've had enough predatory spirits, trying to attack, and I'm done with all of it. So yeah, I was made to bring this deck and do this reading. So here we go. So let's see. So I feel like with the Pillory card, this is again public ridicule, dishonor. They're being caught. I'm hearing caught a predator. Some people may be doing jail time in this. Health issues for some. This is going to play out in very different circumstances. We're going to see what else Archangel Raphael got for us. Archangel Raphael, what else? Oh. Black Widow just came out. So I feel like this is the underworld, I always hear the underworld will take you home. They'll guide you home, and it's very protective. However, this is the first card that came out, or the first word that's on this card is betrayal. I feel like there's going to be some people who are going to be turning on each other, basically within their own circles. So whoever was in cahoots with this predatory spirit, with this predatory energy that was used to attack you, that was used to attack certain situations in your life, they're going to start turning against each other. When they have, oh, I'm hearing you cut the cord. Okay, I understand why this message is happening. You've cut the cord. I feel like you've severed the end of them not being able to feed off of you no more, and now they're turning on each other, right? They tried to gang stalk on those that, um, have their light on. Since you cut the cord and you severed this connection fully, like it's you're choosing to live. I'm even feeling a certain right now I'm feeling a pain radiating to the back, to my back. It's kind of like from the heart to the back. So, but my heart doesn't actually hurt, right? So I feel like this is kind of saying it's background noise. Like I feel like there's still certain feelings that you may be processing concerning the situation, which is completely normal. But now it's their turn to deal with betrayal, is their turn to deal with the evils that they try to put on you. They're going to be essentially reaping what they've sown into their own garden, and it's time. What else? What else? Archangel Raphael. What else? Oh, okay. That was like way too many cards. Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, that was too many cards. All right. What else do we have? Okay. So, oh. Ooh, okay. Oh. Sorry, we. Oh, wow. This is very, very interesting because I feel like all these cards relate. Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to do it. We're going to get right into it. First card that we got is Swords and Scales, okay? I feel like this Swords and Scales is speaking to, again, didn't I just say you cut, okay? You severed the last, like, cord that this person was trying to attach to you. Listen, don't mind my hair wrap. We looking kind of crazy right now, but it's okay. We're gonna keep on with this message. Balance is being restored. Okay, you have been in a, so we're talking about scales. You have been the one weighed down by the heaviness, and they've been, feeling the freedom, the lightness, the perceived freedom and lightness, right? What they thought that they've stole from you, right? What they thought they could take from you and kind of shift places. So there's this balance that's being restored, right? And it's going to be a drastic balance, right? Because if you were drastically depleted, right, or overburdened, and they're living high, then now it's time for them to experience that low and you to experience the high. And so understand that divine timing is truly divine timing. The process of the divine, the process of your team, working with the divine, with the angelics, the archangelics, and just overall everyone working in harmony for the greater good. This is to restore the balance, but it's in divine timing and alignment with the creator, right? And I feel like there's been a certain level of detachment that has taken place within your own life and even in your own journey that you finally let go, and you're like, you know what, there's been so much heaviness. I may not even want to deal with people. I'm going to tell you this from my own personal perspective. I have not wanted to deal with people. I could have cared less to do these readings. Not because I don't enjoy the readings. I genuinely love doing readings. The heaviness of others was just too much for me. I was overstimulated and I was like, I need a break. And I feel like you as well, you need this break in your life. And you've been so busy in the present moment, existing in the present moment, that you've let go of possibilities of what your future is going to look like. You stop looking at the past, and even if your wounded self wants to look at the past, you've brought yourself back to center, okay? And in this, you finally let go of outcomes. You finally let go of control to a certain degree, okay? But I feel like in the way that you've ultimately needed to. And when I say a certain degree is because... So I'm in a shelter, okay? I haven't made this any secret. I'd be wanting to be like, can y'all have some home training? It'd be pulling on my control aspect. But I feel like I finally did just let go fully, right, of this whole control aspect. If people are going to be dirty, if people are not going to have no home training, that's on them. That's not a reflection of me. I can just make my space and my environment loving and inviting to me. So I feel like you've let go of something deep, right? This resistance of where the divine was trying to place you, and you're allowing yourself, oh no, get away. Sorry, it's a bug. Get away. I don't need no more bites. Thank you. Didn't we just talk about restoring balance? I know I'm sweet, but my goodness. You leaving me with bites I gotta be itchy with afterwards? That's just not fair. Sorry. So I feel like the microphone, okay. I'm hearing for some of you, this is going to be public recognition, okay? Some of you, your voices are going to be heard on a public spectrum, on a public level, the media, you know. And with this, you could be going through situations which I know I was stressed out. Like so stressed out talking about my voice isn't being heard, my voice isn't being heard, it is not being honored, and felt like I was repeating cycles of like childhood wounding again. And I'm like, but I'm showing up for myself. So what's going on, right? So there's been a lot of throat chakra upgrades, and in this aspect of you saying, you know what, I'm literally letting go, even though I'm trying to show up for myself. This is where the divine is saying, guess what? You used your voice, you passed the test. You're not showing up for yourself in the way that you're meant to now because your outward circumstances aren't reflecting that to you. Let us move on your behalf, and we'll show you that we've been hearing your voice, that we honor you, that we honor your struggles, your pain, that we honor your need for rest, that we honor your need to have a softer life. This is the season that you are entering into. And in this, for some, I want to sit here and say, for some of you, you're going to be getting unexpected news, right? Whether it's, you know, from a friend, a relative, an unexpected source, you're going to be receiving news of these like people's downfall, you know, and news that in their downfall, there's a certain liberation that has happened for you. And some of you can also be getting this information directly from spirit, right? Some of you can be channeling this information. The next card that came out is the hot air balloon. Now, usually I don't like to read all the cards when they come out in such a big pile, but it makes sense because there's two energies that are going on right here, right? You have your energy that, you know, it's moving on to freedom, and then you have the energy of those that need to pay for their karmic deeds. It is what it is, right? So the hot air balloon, I feel like this is you kind of just feeling like you're being filled up with gases. Okay, maybe not gases, that's probably not the right term, but you're feeling lighter than ever. You're finally feeling like you can breathe because you're not expecting any circumstances, any events to take place. You're just saying, you know what? And I'm going to tell you what I've been saying. Because I've literally been saying either this is going to kill me or this is going to refine me to the greatest version of myself that I have ever seen, that ever exists. This is the energy, whether you stated that or not, this is the energy that you are in, that you are unapologetically flowing in, and understanding that this is a surrender process. And you've been so resistant to the surrendering that you're like, at this point, everything that I'm trying to facilitate to go my way isn't going my way. You know what, divine? Take it. Like, fully take the lead, because I'm over it. And there's been frustrations, right? In order to get to kind of like this hot air balloon, you know, you get this news and justice and the scales finally being balanced. It's not like it's been an easy process. For some of you, it's been many years. Okay. You're learning to operate from the skill sets that you learned in your healing process. And in operating in those skill sets, you have become a new version of self. You become the free version of self. And I feel like for some of you, you've even been contemplating who you want to be in this season. Because even though you've been contemplating who you want to be in this season, you've had external triggers that have tried to activate that wounded healing response. Okay, I'm sorry, not wounded healing, the wounded self response, okay, to become impulsive. And I was thinking the other day, I was at a store shopping for something, and the lady literally seen me pay for it. And I was like, do you need to see the receipt? Like, she's standing right in front of me. And she's like, yeah, nah, I put the receipt in, my book bag, had it in my wallet or whatever. I said, okay. And I ain't give her no attitude. But I'm like, you just seen me pay the cashier. Like, so I'm like, okay. So I give her the receipt. And I'm like, you know what? Keep it. And she's like, no, you're going to need it. You're going to need to return it. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm definitely not going to return it. Keep it. You throw out my trash. Okay? Because you were so intent on, I don't want to sit here and say profiling me. You too high strung on the job. Okay? That to me, you can see that nobody's stealing. Right? And so it was the attitude of that. So I say all that to say that you've had, because I feel like I was about to lose that thought. You've had these experiences where it's like, okay, do you operate from the wounded aspect of self? Now, I don't feel like I dealt with that situation wrong, because you're not gonna profile me. Throw out my trash if you want to. But what I'm saying, I use that as an example. Some of you may be seeing certain events or circumstances taking place, and you can see the truth for what it really is. And being in a shelter, I can see a lot of truth for what it really is. But I've had to come to the understanding that the human vessel, some people do know that they're truly diving deep into degradation and who they're energetically getting into bed with, right? So to speak, doing rituals, doing things to people. They're human, there's others who their human consciousness may just be, literally on a low vibrational level. That's how I'll say it. I'll be nice. I'm working on being nice. But the human consciousness doesn't realize how deep into degradation they've gone. And because I was seeing how deep into degradation they've gone, it was irritating my soul, and I'm just like, But then I wanted to start kind of just treating them a certain kind of way. Like, don't even talk to me. I'm not perfect, y'all. I'm going through this human experience with all of y'all. And I realize, most of them do not know that they are as lost as they are, okay? And so I've become softer, because this version of myself in this season of my life, I don't want to be, just like the mean auntie walking by, that no one can speak to. If you're a man trying to talk to me in that way, you probably won't get a response outside of, head nod, because I'm not wasting my time. Unless it's about business. Then we can discuss business, but that's it. Still not wasting my other precious time. The next card that came out is Labyrinth. Okay. So I feel like this is for those that have been doing the work. They're going to find themselves in such a convoluted situation that is going to feel like a terrible maze that they can't escape. It's going to be one situation after another, and they are going to have to submit to God and ultimately cry out for God. Listen, I'm sorry, there's a bug again. I don't know if it can smell. What I got in there? I got some food. Oh, I got the guac. I do. I'm like, why does it keep going to my bag? Get out of my stuff. I got some guac. All right. I can't blame you. I understand. Guac is amazing. So I'm sorry, we having these side conversations with the bugs around. You're not gonna be doing this to me today. So, anyways, I say all that to say that they're going to be finding themselves in very convoluted situations where ultimately their soul's going to have to cry out to God for rescue in this situation. And I'm not necessarily talking about just like everyone in the world who's like unconscious. I am talking about these individuals who have truly operated from evil and known that they were operating from evil and chose to operate from evil. This is a season of freedom for many, redemption for others, payment. Okay, karmic payments are being collected at this time, collective. And depending how deep someone has gone into degradation, my dear, they're being asked to pay. And for some of them, they've created mazes that they cannot get out of, and especially cannot get out of in this lifetime. And so their soul is going to have to cry out for God. This is the season that we're moving into. Confirmation. We got the next card that came out, spilled milk. Okay. That means that they realize there's going to be, I feel like whether they're admitting this to themselves or not, there's going to be this internal dialogue within self of they've wasted a lifetime. They've wasted potential, seeking to do harm, seeking to get into degradation, and not even being able to attain their goal. How many years have they wasted? The loss of potential growth, their health, their sanity, it's going to start going down the drain because they've realized that their energy and their actions stink. It's like rotten milk. And as I said, that 2202 confirmation. They cannot escape their own internal truths. And the parasitic energies, those malevolent spirits that they got into cahoots with, are going to be making it very clear and known to them who they are. That they were just a pawn in this chess game. And because now those malevolent spirits are losing, guess what? Those pawns are being sacrificed. Because those malevolent spirits are ridiculous. And they don't realize that they're never going to get to the king. They're never going to get to the goal. And that queen, that spiritual, I love the divine is solving chess right now. That spiritual lead, okay, to this divine partnerships, she's been making all the right moves to protect that king, to protect that union within. The divine feminine, divine masculine, this is your season where divine partnerships are coming to arise. I didn't even know this was about to be about divine partnerships, but yeah. Y'all, somebody help me name this title because I don't know what I'm gonna name it, but because I didn't even know I was gonna be doing this reading. The next card that came out is ballet shoes. Okay, this is where I feel like you are getting a renewed sense of vitality. Okay. And now you're dancing through life. Like, I feel like this is you wanting to explore. And I'm not saying, you want to get involved in everything. I feel like this is just you willing to finally dance and tango with life. Right? I'm so cute, y'all. Just take a moment to be like, we fine over here. Yes, we are. Okay. In my natural beauty. But this is where you are doing the tango, the dance with life. And in this, there's a poise, there's this grace, there's this elegance that is exuded from you. Because you've literally been refined. And so now you can move through life with this beautiful grace, with this beautiful elegance and lightness within self because you honor self. Okay, this is where you are balancing your divine feminine, divine masculine, your light and dark. You've balanced it, and you know which situations require the darkness. You know which situations require the lightness. You know the light, and you are operating from that standpoint. And my dear, you are deep as well. Endless resources that are natural from the ground. You have honored divinity within. And this is tapping you into actual wealth, spiritual wealth. There is not a day in your life where you will lack. There is perceived lack, but you will have everything that you need, and it will always be provided for you by the divine. Don't allow something to make it seem like you are ever in a drought season when you just dig deep in and you know that that well that springs from within, it is the life that gives. It is the well that gives. It is the essence of what you are moving into. Then we got fireworks. Okay, this is about to be some exciting times for some people. Okay, this is where I feel like you're just gonna be feeling this excitement. I don't know when, where, and how, but you could just be having bursts of excitement and energy. And this is good because you've been going through, I'm gonna say like deep moments of rest. You've been needing to rest. I've been napping like crazy, but I'm also having really weird moments where it's kind of like these two energies. I need to nap and I need to sleep, but at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, I can't sleep and I need to be awake. Confused. It's kind of like a those balance beams. What did they have like in the parks? The little seesaws. Yeah, so it's like going up and down. Yeah, you're totally going up and down right now, and it's okay. But I feel like this is kind of just preparing you for the excitement, the lift off of what's about to be happening and taking place in your life. Um, I feel like this is a celebration, thrills, frills, you being in heightened emotions, which is actually funny, but heightened emotions as far as excitement, because you may be like a character at certain times, but I also feel like you're actually a very balanced person. Your emotions can be very still within, despite how you present to the world. Um, Listen, I ain't gonna say it, but some of y'all may be acting just a little bit foolish when you get certain news. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's okay. You know, if you gonna do some kind of dancing, but do it privately in your room, it ain't for the world to see. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. um, then we got rock bottom. This ain't for you, okay? This is for those that are gonna be hitting that rock bottom, okay? For those that made themselves an enemy to you, they are gonna realize that they have to do the work to climb back up, my dear. And there's no escaping the rock bottom that they're gonna hit. Because they've done something to literally there's some people who have done things that ultimately can warrant their soul, no, not their soul, cancel that statement, their body no longer being able to sustain this reality. If you could read between the lines, read between the lines. Now, however that manifests in this lifetime for them, that's what they've earned. This isn't where, I'm trying to find the right words. Okay, basically this is where no one has to take them out. They're taking themselves out from the behaviors, the patterns, and the negativity that they chose to pour into that vessel. And now the vessel cannot sustain that negativity, so now the vessel is going to start to rot. Okay, next card. I didn't even want to do this reading, but I'm so happy I did. Okay, so anyways, the next card that came out is tandem bicycle. Okay, you see it, a man and the woman. The man is guiding. The woman is just, she got this expression of joy, kind of like she's dancing. I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of blurry. But kind of like she's dancing. She got her arms out, doing all types of things. And I'm just like, yes, honey, let's dance. Let's have a good time. I actually, it was crazy because what's happening in this reading is very much what's been happening in my own spiritual walk, because it was an aspect of like my wounded self, or another aspect of self saying like she finally submits to my divine partner. As I said that 30-33. I was like, I trust him. I'm allowing him to take the lead. I submit. If y'all know me and my divine partnership, our souls are connected through space and time. That's all I'll say. But I have fought that beautiful reflection of my soul for a very long time. And when I was like, okay, no more fighting, I surrender, I submit. I suppressed myself, okay? Like, did I really just submit? Oh, yes, honey, you did. Okay. So this could be you submitting to the divine masculine within. This could be you submitting to the will of the divine. I feel like there's a blush energy because I don't feel like you expected this. I don't feel like your partner probably even expected this soon. Maybe he did. Maybe your team didn't expect you to get in alignment this soon. And I think you have to be thoroughly irritated to get to this point. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. And so in this submission that has taken place, you're getting ready to move into the symphony, right? This is co-creation with the divine, co-creating with your divine partner. This is where, because I don't feel like you're necessarily in a creative space. Now, you may be in an intellectual place, you may be in a place where you want to learn, rest. You got a lot of weird energies in your field right now. Creation, I feel like you're just like, I've created a lot, I put a lot out there. I don't know that I even want to put any more out there. You want to keep things very kind of just personal for you to do it. But there are aspects of your soul that are showing you in tandem what it actively wants to create for the future. But it's giving you the downloads now. So you're receiving certain information now, because there's going to have to be action that is in alignment with the future that you are trying to build in order to bring that future into, the present moment as you continue to exist and evolve. So this is where now structure is going to start coming into your life, and beautiful moments are going to start unfolding in the structure. So y'all, thank you for listening to this beautiful message from me and Spirit, y'all. Take care. Peace.